Alright, we're going to talk about repeating signs. Repeat signs. Yeah, obviously a musician doesn't want to write out the same measures more than one time, and in almost every piece you're going to repeat some measure. So they utilize what are called repeat signs. And let me show you what that looks like, actually. Alright. A double bar line, right here. A double bar line preceded by two dots instructs us to repeat the passage, right? So when we're playing along, we're going this way, right? Chugging along, and we reach this colon. I guess you know what a colon is. You reach these two dots with the double bar line. Well, that tells us we have to go back and find exactly the same looking symbol with two dots and a double bar line. So this instructs us to repeat that passage. And now if this was, I mean, this is telling us that this was not actually the beginning of the musical piece. If it was the beginning of the musical piece, right, you would not need this. You would not need this. Because you're starting right here after the clef and the time signature. And you're going along and you reach the end of the musical passage that you want to repeat. All it's telling you to do is just go back to the beginning and start over. So you don't need this first one unless it's within the musical passage. And here's kind of where it might get confusing, but bear with me. So if within the repeated passage you had to replace one or several of the last measures by other measures, you would use endings. First or second endings are used, and especially here. And it would kind of look like this, right? So you would have to repeat this section with that, and let me show you the order actually. So let's first number these measures out. This measure is measure 1. From here to here, that's measure 2. And really quickly, because this C, that represents common time, so this should have, obviously a 4/4 time signature, right? So this would be a half note and 2 quarter notes. That makes up that makes up the correct time signature. 4/8 notes and a half note, that makes up the correct time signature. 4 quarter notes, or 2 quarter notes and 1 half note. So as you can see, it's obviously 4/4. I just wanted to make sure that you're clear on that. Anyways, this is the third measure. This one is the fourth. This one is the fifth. This last one is the sixth, right? So you would play this measure. So you would go 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh, we hit a repeating sign, right? So we have first played 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we've hit this repeat measure. Now what is that telling us to do? Okay, it's telling us to go back to that piece, right? So you have to go back all the way to the start. Play 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Now, it's telling us to replace this section with 2, right? So, what's under 2? Well, that would be 5. So instead of playing 3, we now go to 5. And the last measure would be 6. So that's actually how it would be played if you had to replace measures. So again, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, because of the 1 and 2, it tells us to replace the section that's covered by the 1 with the section that's covered by the 2. Uh-oh. And, sorry. So that's telling us basically to go 1, 2, 3, 4, repeat 1, 2, 5, and then 6. Now, if you had to repeat a larger section of the musical piece, so not just, a couple bars, There are two other means of repeating sections using the following symbols. You would use DS, which is short for dal segno, and that literally means from the sign. So these two letters are used when the repetition is intended from the sign. This is the sign right here. So when you see this in the musical piece, you'll use these two letters and it'll indicate from the sign you can repeat. The other means are these two letters, D and C, and that means da capo, which literally means from the head. And you'll use this when repetition is intended from the beginning of the musical piece. Okay, so from the sign and from beginning. And I'll show you quickly what that looks like. And actually, these two symbols are often accompanied with the two phrases al fine and tu coda. So you might see al fine or tu coda. That just designates where you can repeat from. So again, let me show you an example of that. Bam. Okay. So again, let's number out the measures really quickly. So this is the first measure, second, third, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. So there are 8 measures here. So the way this passage would be played is first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we have this little these symbols, right? DC al fine, right? And that is telling us to basically go back to the start and play until fine. So again, this would the order of that we would play this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, nothing yet. 5, 6, 7, 8. We have something here now, right? So this is going to tell us to go all the way back here and play until here. So that would be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is how that section would be played. Now, tu coda, let me just go over that quickly. That indicates to play the repeat section until the symbol that we saw here, right? So these guys go together. These guys go together usually. And these guys go together. So you'll basically see, again, instead of fine, this symbol might be there, and you'll see a DS, so it'll DS tu coda or something, and it'll come back around and go to this repeat sign. So again, don't worry too much about this for now, but it's important that you understand the terminology, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.